Welcome to Tackle Fanatics TV, and in this episode of TFTV, Terry Hearn takes a look at Dynamite sauce bait.
Okay, the sauce. What can I say about the sauce? Well, first off, it's been out for a long time now, 10 years odd. I think the first year I started using it was 2003 at Sonning. Proved to be very good bait from the off. Not really surprised, it's a bird food fish meal bait with robin red in. And anyone who knows me will know I like a robin red fish meal type bait. Now, I suppose I best go through the ingredients more than anything. Right, first off, like I say, it's got a fish meal in it, low temperature, high quality fish meal. Not allowed to say what one, but it's a good one. We've got 3 different bird foods, all from Hearn. Again, pretty much all the baits I've ever produced with Dynamite have had Hearn bird foods in. The chocolate malt, crave, all of them have got Hearn bird foods in. They're known as the best. And you've got 3 different ones there, all of them are very good. We've got, there's a splash of egg albumin, very small amount. Egg albumin, if you've never used egg albumin before, basically it's to toughen the bait up. And because a lot of the ingredients that go into the sauce are very water soluble, there is a splash of egg albumin just to firm the bait up a touch. We've got a little bit of semolina. All the baits have a bit of semolina in. Milk protein, milk powder. Maize flour, again. I've used maize flour in an awful lot of the baits I've done. A lot of people, I think it's well underrated. I like maize flour a lot. I like the golden colour that it produces, especially in the paler colour baits like the chocolate malt. And I'm sure a lot of you will recognise that. Good old faithful robin red from Hearn. And very similar product. Again, I'm not meant to name it, so I'll just call it the spicy mix. How's that? Mixed spices. Attractor wise, this is a mixture of them all. What can I say? Basically, it's a very meaty curry sort of smell. I'm sure a lot of you watching this have already used the sauce, so you'd recognise the smell straight off. But yeah, the best way I can describe it is meaty, with a bit of a spicy kick to it, you know, like curry. There they are, texture-wise, lovely, crumbly, just like I like all my baits to be. I think texture's a very important thing. It's ignored a lot. A lot of people don't realise just how important the texture of a bait is. For example, just because you've got a boilie and it's 15mm in size, doesn't mean it's the same as the next 15mm boilie, if you know what I mean. Texture is an awful. It means a great deal, and as to how much the fish can eat. The looser texture that a bait is, the more a fish can eat of it and the quicker it will pass through that system. So ideally you want a bait that's tough enough to stay on the hair, but at the same time it's got a crumbly, cakey texture, so it releases the attractors very well and it goes through the fish's system very well. I've often used a good example, if you like. You imagine a bit of bread pudding that's, say, that big in size. Big chunk of bread pudding. Now, you know what bread pudding's like. It's nice, but it fills you up very quick. Now, I'd struggle to eat a bit of bread pudding that big just because it's so filling, but a bit of sponge cake, I'd eat 2 or 3 of them that big, no problem at all. So you get what I'm saying. Texture is very important, and all the ingredients that I've just talked about here, they all add up to make a very nice textured bait. Right, basically the main reason I'm doing this little video is because we've just released 5 kilo bags of the sauce. I've been on at Dynamite for a long time hoping that they were going to do this, and finally they've done it. 5k bags. It's good for me. You know, a kilo bag isn't normally enough. I normally like to take a lot more, especially if I'm putting in a lot or I'm baiting up. So 5k is perfect, and also it's good for you lot out there, because whereas I don't know what a kilo of sauce is nowadays, I think about 10 quid a kilo, but if you buy a 5k bag, you're basically getting a kilo for free. You're paying £39.95 and you're getting 5 kilos rather than 4, so good deal all round. While I'm here as well, I should also mention I'm doing the crave in 5 kilo bags as well. That's the newer one from Dynamite. You know what, whenever I'm going to a new water, it's always a struggle for me to make my mind up whether I want the sauce or the crave. I love them both. They're both really effective baits. And you know what, sometimes it's that much of a tough choice that I'll use them both and I'll mix them 50-50. basically how I've been fishing just lately. That's the crave and the sauce, mixed 50-50, so I've got the best of both worlds, if you like. The sauce it's got a fish meal in it, like I just showed you, but it's more bird food. In fact, it's probably a better bait in cooler water temperatures. Bird food's more water soluble, so in the colder months I quite often use sauce over the top of a fish meal, you know, rather than a fish meal. But in the summer months, I do prefer a higher fish meal content, so I go for the crave. But if I'm unsure, I'll just mix the two together. And that's what these are, basically. I'm going off to a little lake later on today to bait up, so I've just done myself up a little bag, and I've glugged them up as well. You've got the sauce glugs and the crave glugs, and I'll quite often use those. I see some people using them neat, but it won't go very far like that, and they're very potent, the attractors in both baits, crave and the sauce, so you can dilute it down, and that's what I do. I quite often just put a big dollop of it in a bottle, an old milkshake bottle or something, and then I'll water it down, add some water to it, and I'll splash that over the baits when they're frozen, and as they thaw, they sort of suck a lot of it up. So that's for later on today. In fact, I'll tell you what, this little bag of bait, I've got to be honest with you, this is actually left over from a trip. I've not long got back from a little lake that I've been fishing recently. I only had 3 trips, and on my 3rd trip I got lucky enough to catch the big one, 45 pound 10 ounces, the Northwick Big, and it's called. Lovely long scaly beast, I'm sure you'll like it from the picture. And that, I had 50 baits around it, around the hook bait, and that was a mixture of sauce and crave. So like going back to what I said earlier, both baits are really good, and to be honest with you, a lot of the time I can't make my mind up what one to use. I love them both. What else can I say? I think that's pretty much about it. Like I say, 5k bags. Oh, that was what else I wanted to mention. Nice little touch as well. Obviously, sometimes you're going to be going fishing, you only want to take a little bit with you, a pound or a kilo or so at a time. So what Dynamite have done, they've actually put 5 like zip seal bag or seal bags, if you like, in there as well, so you can take a kilo. You've got 5 bags in there. It's not like you have to rummage around in the kitchen for some old Tesco bags. They're already there for you waiting. So I think that's pretty much it, all covered. I don't really think I need to say how good a bait it is. The sauce itself I've used for a long time now, over a decade. First started using it on Sonny and I, where it was really did prove effective, and I've used it pretty much everywhere since. Even if I've not been using much in the way of sauce bottom baits, I've always used the sauce cork dust pop-ups, which are really good. Even when I was using like baits like Dynamite's red fish, the sauce cork dust pop-ups were what I used to fish over the top of them. I just love them. I'm just confident in them, and confidence is what it's all about at the end of the day. Other waters I've used it on, let me think. A lot of local ones, the Ellis Pit, Nutty Lane, just about everywhere I've fished since 2002, to be honest, has seen a sauce boilie. You know, I've tried it everywhere. So you certainly won't have to think twice about whether it's going to work or not. It catches carp, and it does that well. Get on it.
Thanks for tuning in to Tackle Fanatics TV. Tackle Fanatics are a Dynamite stockist and offer a huge selection of bait at the best prices in the UK. To view our extensive range, log on to www.tacklefanatics.co.uk. If you've got any questions or queries about any bait, give us a call on 0208 949 3307 and we'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. Tight lines and wet nets from everybody at Tackle Fanatics TV.